Hello, Cindy here. Hi, Instagram. Hi, Facebook. I'm excited to be with you guys today to talk about something that is that's common. I see it all the time in men and women where there's a struggle from a past relationship and involvement, and it becomes an obsession and addiction. So I'm going to talk about the reasons why. So you might have been, in a relationship where they just couldn't show up for you the way that you really wanted and deserved, or maybe they cheated or lied, and there's this, even feeling of guilt and shame that you still wanted to be with that person, for a number of reasons, when in all reality it just doesn't make sense. And potentially you were holding on to the very, very beginning, the early stages of what that relationship looked like, in which it wasn't really the reality. Let me know if you guys have ever been there where, the relationship seemed to start off really amazing and it had promise, but it didn't really end up that way. So, just press in the comments, put in the comments, just put, yeah, I've been there. Been there, Cindy. I've got the t-shirt. So if you're struggling with that presently, or you've struggled with that in the past, I'm sorry. It's really difficult. Not only is it, oftentimes difficult to overcome relationships that don't work, it can be equally as difficult to move forward. And awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, Helene, for sharing. I know that's vulnerable. It can be equally as difficult because we go through different stages. We go through bargaining, and then we go through this obsession in the mind that can happen where we think, well, if I had done this, maybe he'd do, maybe he'd show up for me. Or if I didn't, all the while you're accepting breadcrumbs, and there's a feeling of confusion because maybe they said in the beginning that you were everything amazing that they wanted, or problems started to crop up down the line. So here's the number one thing that can happen is we can allow this past relationship that didn't work out the way that we had hoped for. That probably wasn't everything that it was cracked up to be. And, maybe there were great parts to it, and maybe there weren't. But for whatever reason, it wasn't working out. And what we can do, there's about 3 different things that we can do, and I'm going to show you how you can overcome it. One, you can actually hold yourself back from moving forward. You can not date, keep yourself isolated, which actually feeds into loneliness and depression, and those are the things that are actually going on, is loneliness and depression with the addiction to the other person, or suffering from the breakup. So that leads to that feeling. It leads to, well, I need to be this over the relationship in order to move forward, when actually there's a lot of healing and moving forward. And moving forward can look like healing in your self-care, doing things that, I talk about making deposits in your self-love bank, putting the oxygen mask on your face first. And I know when you're suffering in this place where you you want this person. And in the mind, because the mind is so freaking powerful, the mind can tell you, well, this is the last person on the planet. This is the only person for me. They're the only one that gets me. When that quite possibly isn't the case. Maybe you never really fully felt seen, and you were trying so hard to prove yourself in this connection that there was this losing of oneself, and it really wasn't fully there to begin with. So this addiction, some of the signs of this happening in your life often can be some form of an unavailable relationship. The unavailable relationship could be, long distance for a long period of time where you're only connecting and it's really exciting. So, it could be that there's another addiction that's happening in one or both people. There could be alcohol, there could be drugs. There could be all kinds of things that are transpiring where there's not a full openness and authenticity, or one person or even both people are trying to change the other one into what they think that they really want, and not accepting and loving unconditionally. So that has to do with connecting with people that actually line up with your values. So this obsession of the mind can really it can go deep, it can go down a rabbit hole. So, I want to share with you, I know it's not easy. Secondly, so, the first thought is, there's some loneliness and depression happening. The second is, why does this happen? Why do some people move forward easier than others? I'll get to you on that. Why do some people move forward easier than others? Do you know people in your life that have suffered from a breakup and then they move through it and they move forward and they're happy in the next relationship, or they marry the next person? If so, let me know. Does it usually take you quite a while to get past a relationship? So part of that is there's a subconscious and even conscious challenge with actually being alone. And the obsession keeps you from not being alone. It keeps you occupied from moving forward. It keeps you occupied from actually being in the present moment. It's an escape. And it keeps you company. I know it sounds weird, but it certainly does. So that's the second thing that happens in the addiction. The third thing is, and this is one of the most dangerous ones that I see, and I've experienced this myself, and have healed from it personally, this way of being phenomenon, so to speak, is when you're in a current relationship, something happens, or you have a bad day, or you have a bad week with that person, and all of a sudden they're not, you start ruminating in your mind or about the past, like how great it was, and you didn't have that problem with that ex, or the person that you were involved with, and if only. There's a lot of if onlys that come up in this, during this phase, process, whatever. So my point to all of this is, oh wow, some good questions here. So my point to all of this, how do we move past it? There's going to be a certain stage of, that maybe even that stage of bargaining. That's super duper normal. The stage of bargaining, the stage of, coulda, woulda, shoulda, if only. Those things will, that's where you're going through actually the stages of loss. You can look that up. The first stage is, denial, acceptance, bargaining, anger. So all of those things are normal, but here's what you want to do. You want to process. You want to allow yourself to feel those feelings and emotions. You don't want to stuff it. You want to find a friend and somebody that's supportive of you. Not someone that's going to say, oh, go knock on his door and try to get him back. No, you want to be with somebody that's supportive of you moving forward, and also is compassionate. This is the, compassion. Also, this is a stage of compassion with yourself is super duper important. And we all have certain attachment styles, so that can feed into an addiction. And if you're anything like me, I can get addicted to anything. I can get addicted to running. I can get addicted to, my business. I can, because I get fulfillment from it. So I could be a workaholic because I've gotten approval. I felt good from that, and it's escape, right? So our goal is to create more balance. And I don't believe anything's ever perfect. It's the awareness around that and having compassion, because so often, especially in our society today, nothing's good enough. Or had I done this, this wouldn't have happened. Why am I such an idiot? Why am I not good enough? Could be underneath it. And maybe you don't think on the surface that you're not worthy, but there's something going on there that keeps that addiction happening. And our mind, again, is super powerful. So having compassion for yourself, a friend, if this is something that has been a repeated pattern, get really honest with yourself. And I suggest talking to a coach, hiring a coach, reach out to me or someone else that you feel comfortable with that can support you and actually healing, moving forward, and being empowered in this area. So that's one. These are things to be aware of. Connect with a friend, get yourself busy in your life with your self-love tank. So, that for me has manifested itself in, working out, doing, eating healthy, drinking lots of water, connecting with friends, going outside in nature on hikes, and but healthy activities that are uplifting and positive. So that's one. Second, move forward, start dating, start meeting people. And you might be going, yeah, but Cindy, my heart's broken, or I don't know, I'm still thinking about this person. Well, newsflash, they might be thinking about somebody else too. They might be in the process of healing, and you can actually heal a lot by opening yourself up to move forward. How many times have you had something that you were fearful about on your mind, and you talked to a friend, or you ended up meeting someone and you laughed and you had a good time with them, and it made you forget about that for a little bit? That's a process of letting go. And if you get in the habit of that and not allow your mind to continue to obsess and bargain. So I got a question here, and I'm not sure if I understand what you're asking. How do we make ourselves emotionally alluring to men? Well, one, be you, be authentic, be yourself unapologetically, because the right people are going to show up for you. And I don't, when you say emotionally alluring, you get to look at being vulnerable and emotionally available yourself. So I think, that's emotionally alluring. Men really like it when a woman is vulnerable or shares something that she's kind of scared to share. Um, is, ask him his opinion on things. Men like to feel like they're purposeful in your life. And if they don't, they're not going to stick around long. And if you as a woman can't really be you, then it might work out for a while, but it's not going to really work. So it's, emotional connections can take time. It takes time to get to know people, but, helping, also, I got a question, helping you with moving forward is actually making a decision that I am not going to allow this person to have the power over me and my happiness in my life. I'm not going to do it. Excuse me, you guys. Because I deserve happiness. I want to be happy. And, oftentimes we can have things that trip us up. Maybe that person broke up with you and then they're in another relationship, and it's easy to go to a place in your mind. And, I want to share something that, it's so much better with this other person. But if you're honest, and this person wasn't really in a fully healthy space to accept relationship, it's not going to change. If you were with a narcissist or, with someone that wasn't taking responsibility in the relationship, that's not going to change with someone else unless they decide to do the work to do that. And I think, we can oftentimes go into the obsession and fantasy that, someone else is going to get, I've prepped him to be with the best woman possible. Well, we can show up as a different person in different relationships because different people bring out different things in us. However, that also has to do with us. It also has to do with, even our insecurities. But, moreover from that, it's, are you truly being you? Or are you wearing a mask? And that's the key. Or, if he says something that doesn't land well or isn't aligned, and maybe you sweep it underneath the carpet, it's really important to ask questions. What do you mean by that? Why do you feel that way? And also not take things personally if somebody isn't in a similar place to you, and get really honest. If someone's actually available to you, are you truly available for them? I don't know if I told you this story in the past, but I was really famous for what I call backdoors, where I would, be involved in a relationship. And, like I was sharing earlier, if we had a bad day or a bad week, or I thought, gosh, this guy's a jerk and whatever, I wanted to get my ego fed by a past person, because I've always had good relationships with my exes because I'm a nice person, right? Well, I fostered those relationships all for my own self-seeking motives, for my own ego. It wasn't it, and what it did was it actually kept me unavailable for fully stepping in to move forward. Now, the other thing too is, do you talk about ex relationships often? If you're doing that, that feeds the fire of the obsession. It's okay to mention some, but there's a little period, and then it's like, all right, let's move forward. Because the more you talk about something, the more you share a story, it keeps it alive and it keeps it present in your mind. So, and when you feel those feelings, you might be going, well, yeah, but Cindy, I'm thinking about them several times a day. Okay, so feel that. Feel that feeling, let it land into your heart, feel it for a moment and let it go. And do other things to keep yourself busy so that you can actually open your heart up to something that's real. I just got a question here. What dating sites do I recommend? Just get yourself out there. I recommend Hinge is really popular right now. It's a good one. Bumble, Tinder, those are the dating apps. I've had clients that have had a lot of success on Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Match, Our Time. I mean, Zeus. There are many different sites that I recommend. I also have a strategy around how to open yourself to more success around dating sites, because you can get on dating sites and easily get frustrated and easily lose your mojo and motivation. And I'm going to tell you guys something else too. One, I hope this is helpful, and please, let me know if you're struggling with this and how I can support you on a deeper level. Share vulnerably what's happening in the comments below. And the reason why I say that is because, gosh, your question, your comment could support someone else that might be afraid to have the courage to actually write it out. So there's that piece. Also share this with anybody that you feel could use this support today. Anyone that's been struggling or that you might just feel intuitively needs to hear this. So, I recommend a lot of dating sites, and also making sure that you have a great marketing profile that exudes who you are, where you're at, what you're looking for, in a way that's not that you need to put everything down on your dating site, but you definitely want to make sure that you're, if you're relationship minded, and my guess is you are because you're watching, is you want to make sure that you're honest about that. You also want to make sure that you're not getting too attached to the outcome and the story you might be creating about somebody that you're connecting with online. That's a really important piece. So closing the back doors, stop reaching out to them. Don't continue to fuel and foster that relationship. Everything needs a cooling off period. And how do I feel about being friends with your exes? Kind of depends on how long it's been. And if you're really honest with yourself, did you truly have a friendship with that person? I know the difference between people that I've had a friendship with and that I've been with in the past, and people that I really didn't have a friendship with. So being honest about that and knowing that there is a cooling off period and trusting in that process. There's a whole lot of people out there on this earth. And there's many people out there that are compatible with you, that actually see you and want what you want. So you get to heal. And you get to heal with being happy through you and opening yourself up to receiving true partnership. So this addiction actually keeps you, this addiction to another person actually keeps you distracted from moving forward. So close the back doors. Don't go, no need to go reaching out to past partners to make you feel better in the moment. Hope this helps. Awesome. I'm glad, Patricia, you've gotten through past the bargaining stage. And there's all kinds of things that can happen through. I just want to share this really, really quick because this came up for me. Oftentimes in these types of relationships, there's actually, you're feeding off of a negative energy. You're feeding off of you're addicted to the negativity rather than the positivity. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit deeper in another live, because I'm going to help you guys differentiate between, something that's positive and good for you and the negativity that we can get addicted to, which is oftentimes the distraction from our lives. I hope this helped you guys. I would, please, again, like I said, please share. If you're on YouTube, please like us, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, create your own luck and love. Sending you guys lots and lots of love today. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, everyone.